Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of BookSum, a podcast where we dive into the core ideas of best-selling books and extract the most powerful lessons they have to offer. I'm thrilled to have you here with me as we kick off this exciting journey of discovery, growth, and inspiration. You might be wondering, why start a podcast like this? Well, let me take a moment to share my why with you. Because as we'll discuss today, everything starts with why. I've always been a lover of books, especially those that challenge the way we think, that offer new perspectives, and that provide actionable insights we can apply to our lives. But I also know that in our fast-paced world, it's not always easy to find the time to read and digest all these amazing books. That's where BookSum comes in. I wanted to create a space where we could explore the essence of these books together, distill their wisdom, and turn it into something that's not only easy to understand, but also practical and actionable. My goal with this podcast is simple: to make these life-changing ideas accessible to everyone, whether you're commuting to work, taking a break, or just looking for a little inspiration. We're going to take these powerful books and break them down into bite-sized, engaging summaries that you can apply immediately to your personal and professional life. Now, you might also be asking, why start with Simon Sinek's Start with Why? Well, that's a great question, and it actually ties into the very core of what this podcast is about. Start with Why is a book that has profoundly impacted the way I approach my own life and work. It's a book that's not just about leadership or business. It's about understanding the fundamental reasons behind what we do. It's about discovering our purpose, our cause, our belief, the driving force that motivates us to get up every morning and make a difference in the world. For me, starting with Start with Why was a no-brainer because this book is all about finding clarity and purpose. It challenges us to dig deep and ask ourselves the tough questions. Why do we do what we do? Why does it matter? And how can we inspire others to join us in our journey? These are questions that resonate with me personally and are questions I hope to explore with all of you as we move forward in this podcast. So as we launch this first episode, I can't think of a better way to begin our journey together than by exploring a book that is itself all about beginnings, about the starting point of everything that truly matters. Simon Sinek's Start with Why lays the foundation for everything that will follow on this podcast. It sets the tone for the kind of deep, meaningful conversations we'll have and the actionable insights we'll uncover. Thank you for joining me on this exciting new adventure. I'm so glad you're here, and I can't wait to see where this journey takes us. Let's get started, shall we? Lesson 1. Lead with why, the heart of true inspiration. Let's kick things off with a bit of imagination. Picture yourself as an explorer standing at the edge of a dense, mysterious forest. This forest represents the unknown, filled with opportunities, challenges, and untapped potential. Now you have a choice. You can either wander aimlessly through the woods, hoping to stumble upon something valuable, or you can start with a map, a clear direction that guides your every step. That map, dear listeners, is your why. It's not just a map. It's a transformative tool that can guide you to your true potential and inspire others to join your journey. Simon Sinek's central thesis is simple yet profound. Start with why. The why is your purpose, your cause, the reason you get out of bed in the morning. It's not about what you do, whether you're selling computers, flying planes, or leading a civil rights movement. It's about why you do it. Take a moment to think about some of the most iconic leaders and companies in history. What do Apple, Martin Luther King Jr., and the Wright brothers have in common? They all led with why. Let's talk about Apple. Sure, they make sleek, user-friendly gadgets without which we can't seem to live. But that's just the what. People camp out for days to get the latest iPhone, or why we eagerly await their next big reveal. This isn't just because of the product. It's because of the why. Apple's why is about challenging the status quo and thinking differently. When they launch a new product, they're not just selling you a phone, but inviting you to join a revolution in how we live and work. And what about Martin Luther King Jr.? When he stood on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial and delivered his legendary "I Have a Dream" speech. He didn't start with a 10-point plan for legislative reform. He began with a dream, a vision of equality and justice that resonated deeply with millions. His why wasn't just to change laws, it was to change hearts and minds. And that's why his message still echoes through history. Now, imagine if the Wright brothers, Wilbur and Orville, had approached their quest for flight differently. What if they had started with the what, focused solely on building a plane without a clear purpose? Chances are they would have ended up like Samuel Pierpont Langley, a man with all the resources and expertise, but none of the drive or inspiration. Instead, the Wright brothers started with a powerful why, the belief that human flight could change the world. Their passion and belief drew in a small, dedicated team, and together they achieved the impossible. So how can you apply this in your own life or business? Don't just tell people what you do. Tell them why you do it. When you start with why, you're not just making a sale, you're building a following, a movement. You're creating something that resonates on a deeper, more emotional level, connecting with people's hearts and minds. Action item. Take some time to reflect on your why. Write it down. Make it the centerpiece of your messaging, whether you're crafting a pitch, building a brand, or just trying to inspire your team. Remember, the why is your compass. It will guide you through the forest of uncertainty and lead you to success, providing a sense of direction and confidence in your decisions. Lesson 2. Energize your team, the power of passionate employees. Now that we've established your why, let's move on to the next critical lesson, energizing your team. Think of your organization as a powerful engine. The why is the fuel, but the engine itself, that's your team. And just like any engine, it performs best when it's well-tuned, passionate, and aligned with the mission. Have you ever wondered why some teams achieve extraordinary results while others just plod along, doing the bare minimum? The difference isn't just in skills or resources, it's in passion. When your employees are driven by a shared belief, they're not just working for a paycheck. They're working for a cause. And when that cause aligns with their personal why, they're more committed, more engaged, and more likely to go above and beyond. Let's time travel back to the early 1900s to a humble bicycle shop in Dayton, Ohio. This is where the Wright brothers and their small team of passionate believers gathered to make history. They had no fancy degrees, government grants, or high-tech labs, but they did have a shared why, a belief in the possibility of human flight. This belief was so powerful that it fueled countless hours of trial and error and ultimately success. Their team wasn't just building a machine, they were building a dream. Contrast this with Samuel Pierpont Langley, who had everything and the Wright brothers didn't: funding, connections, and prestige. But what he lacked was a clear and compelling why. As a result, his team was motivated by external factors, money, recognition, and status. They lacked the resilience and passion to push through when the journey got tough. Langley's team was like a fancy sports car with no gas in the tank. It looked impressive, but it didn't go anywhere. This principle is more relevant than ever in the modern workplace. Studies have shown that employees who feel a sense of purpose are more engaged, productive, and loyal. They're not just clocking in and out. They're bringing their best selves to work every day because they believe in what they're doing. Here's a fun exercise. Think about your favorite sports team. What motivates the players to push their limits and give 110% even when the odds are against them? Sure, they're skilled athletes, but what drives them is the desire to win and be part of something greater than themselves. That's the power of a shared why. Companies that harness this power can achieve remarkable things in the business world. Look at Patagonia, the outdoor clothing company. Their why is rooted in environmental sustainability. They don't just sell jackets and backpacks. They advocate for the planet. This mission resonates so profoundly with their employees that they're willing to go above and beyond, whether creating innovative products or engaging in activism. The result: a company that's profitable and beloved by its customers and employees alike. Action item: align your team with your why. Make it a part of your company culture. Encourage your employees to connect their personal values with the organization's mission. When your team feels their work matters, they'll bring passion and creativity to everything they do. Lesson 3. Sell with integrity. Why you don't need sleazy tactics. As we continue our journey through Castle, we arrive at a room filled with treasures. This is your customer base. But here's the catch. The real treasure isn't in quick sales or flashy marketing tactics. It's in trust, and that's built by communicating your why. In the business world, it's too easy to fall into the trap of using manipulative tactics to drive sales. Flashy discounts, fear-based advertising, and gimmicky promotions might get you a sale today. Still, they will need to build a loyal customer base that sustains a business in the long run. Let's take a humorous look at some of these tactics. Have you ever noticed how some ads try to scare you into buying something? Act now, only 3 left in stock. Or don't miss out, this deal expires in 10 minutes. It's like they're saying, buy this or your life will be ruined. These tactics might trigger a quick purchase, but they don't create trust. They create anxiety. Now compare that to a company like Tom's. Tom's doesn't rely on sleazy tactics to sell shoes. Instead, they lead with their why. For every pair of shoes you buy, they donate a pair to someone in need. It's simple, it's powerful, and it resonates. Customers don't just buy shoes. They buy into a mission. And because of that, they keep coming back. They trust Tom's because its why is clear and consistent. When you lead with your why, you attract customers who believe in what you stand for. These customers don't need to be coaxed into buying. They choose to support you because they share your values. And this trust is far more valuable than any short-term sales spike. It fosters loyalty, encourages word-of-mouth marketing, and builds a community of customers who feel genuinely connected to your brand. Here's another example. Think about your favorite restaurant. Chances are it's not just the food that keeps you coming back. It's the experience, the atmosphere, the feeling that the restaurant shares your love for quality and hospitality. That's the power of a strong why. Action item. Focus on building trust with your customers by consistently communicating and living your why. Avoid manipulative sales tactics and instead offer genuine value that aligns with your purpose. Remember, customers who trust you will stick with you through thick and thin. Insights, the golden circle and its impact. Now that we've explored the 3 golden lessons, let's dive a bit deeper into Simon Sinek's golden circle model. This model is a blueprint for how great leaders and organizations inspire action. It consists of 3 layers, why, how, and what, and it's the key to unlocking sustainable success. 1. Why. This is the heart of the golden circle. It's your purpose, cause, or belief, the reason your organization exists. For Apple, their why is about challenging the status quo and thinking differently. For Martin Luther King Jr., it was about equality and justice. 2. How. This is how your why comes to life. The unique process or approach sets you apart from the competition. Apple's how involves creating beautifully designed, user-friendly products that reflect their innovative spirit. King's how was through non-violent protests and powerful speeches that galvanized a nation. 3. What. This is your final product or service. It's the tangible outcome of your why and how. Apple sells computers, phones, and other tech gadgets. King's what was the civil rights movement and the societal changes it brought. Here's the kicker. Most organizations operate from the outside in. They start with what and move inward to how and why. But the most successful leaders and organizations flip this script. They begin with why, which naturally drives the how and what. Let's revisit Apple's marketing strategy. If Apple were like most companies, their marketing message might be like this. We make great computers. They're beautifully designed and easy to use. Wanna buy one? Not very compelling, right? Now let's see how Apple actually does it. Everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo and thinking differently. We achieve this by making our products beautifully designed and easy to use. We just happen to make great computers. Want to buy one? See the difference? By starting with why, Apple creates an emotional connection that transcends the product. Action item. Take a close look at your organization's communication strategy. Are you starting with why or focusing too much on the what? Shift your messaging to lead with your purpose and see how it transforms your brand's impact. Overcoming the challenge of success. Staying true to your why now. let's talk about one of the biggest challenges you'll face on your journey: staying true to your why as you achieve success. Success is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it's the goal you've been striving for. On the other hand, it can blur your vision and lead you away from your original purpose. Simon Sinek calls this losing the clarity of why, and it's a trap that many successful organizations fall into. When you start achieving your goals, it's easy to become complacent and focus more on the what and how than the why. But here's the thing: if you lose sight of your why, you risk losing the very thing that made you successful in the first place. Take, for example, Apple's rise, fall, and resurgence. In the late 1990s, before Steve Jobs returned, Apple was struggling. The company had lost its way, focusing more on product lines and market share than on the innovative spirit that defined its why. When Jobs returned, one of his first actions was to refocus the company on its core why, creating innovative products that challenged the status quo. This clarity of purpose reignited Apple's success and positioned it as one of the most influential companies in the world. This isn't just about companies. As individuals, we often face the same challenge. How often have you set out with a clear goal, only to lose sight of it once you start achieving success? You may have started a project with a passion for making a difference. Still, as you gained recognition, the focus shifted to maintaining your status or income. The key is to regularly revisit and reaffirm your why. It's like keeping your compass pointed toward true north. No matter how far you've traveled. Action item: make it a habit to revisit your why regularly. Reflect on your successes and ensure that your actions and decisions are still aligned with your original purpose. Don't let success dilute your mission. Let it strengthen it. Conclusion: embark on your leadership quest. And there you have it, folks, the 3 golden lessons from Simon Sinek's Start with Why. But remember, this book isn't just a collection of ideas. It's a call to action. Whether you're a leader, an entrepreneur, or someone with a dream, the lessons from this book can guide you on your journey. Lead with why, energize your team, and sell with integrity. These aren't just steps to success. They're the keys to building something remarkable. So, are you ready to unlock the doors to your castle? The adventure awaits, and it all starts with why. Thank you for joining me on this journey through Start with Why. If you've enjoyed this episode, subscribe and share it with someone who could use a little inspiration. Until next time, keep seeking, keep learning, and keep growing.